I hear Adam Carolla on his podcast talking all the time about how annoyed he gets when there is no one around and there's a red light. And he, I believe, if I'm hearing him correctly, believes that you should stop, ensure that nobody else is coming. And if nobody, you can't see anybody for miles. Maybe you are in the desert or whatever, but it's a traffic light. He believes drive through adamantly. However, what do you think?
Well, I will tell you what the law says, and then I'll give you my personal opinion.
Okay.
Um, the law says you can't go through it. It's a red light. You have to stop and you have to wait until it turns green. Okay. That's what the law says. If you choose to do what Adam says to do, there is an absolutely enormous liability gorilla that you are putting on your shoulders. That if anything happens as a result of you breaking the law, you have primary responsibility civilly of those actions. And if you're going to do that, Adam, you need to be absolutely 10,000% that nothing absolutely isn't going to happen, because if it does, you're going to be responsible. Now,
There's Go ahead.
with that said, um, there's officers why not? This happens on graveyard. We'll see a car go through a light and go, well, how can their light be green and my light be green? You know, and it's oftentimes that impaired drivers do that. And people who are under the influence, maybe not only just alcohol, but and/or drugs. Um, I have no problem making that stop. And then if they're not under the influence and they told me, hey, well, gave me an explanation like Adam, I would use it. I would use my discretion of whether or not to issue a citation for that. But sometimes there's, like, for instance, no turn on red. Well, it's no turn on red because
You can't see.
you can't see oncoming traffic. And if you decide, oh, well, nobody's coming, well, nobody's coming because you can't see. Um, there's other times where they use no turn on red because it backs up traffic, and it causes gridlock because left turn and through traffic can't make it if you're making right turns on a red light. So there's other reasons for that. But that's basically my response to Adam's explanation.
Yeah, I probably could have or should have if I wasn't planning on asking you that question, but it just occurred to me I would have probably done better if I had just had it quoted or had the soundbite or something along those lines. But it just popped into my I'm like, I wonder what Brian would say about that. But
Well, it's just,
I there's
I'll give you a better example. Let's say there's a large semi truck who's in front of you and you're on the road, and they're turning and they're stopping to make a turn. Okay. And let's say it's a right hand turn and they've got a real heavy load and they're going really slow and you're really impatient and you want to pass around them. Okay.
well
Well,
that's
you go and it causes you to go into oncoming traffic to go around them, but you're impatient. Well, by doing that, you now have a massive responsibility to make sure there's absolutely positively no chance of anybody else coming the other direction. And I can't tell you how many crashes I've taken where people have seen the truck from the other direction and go, well, they're making a right turn in this parking lot. I'm going to go around them so they have a better, and I'm going to make a left turn coming out of the parking lot. And now you got a guy passing the wrong way because they're impatient. And it all has to do with vision. So that guy who's going over the double yellow line because he's impatient because the truck is making a right turn in the parking lot is going to be at fault and is going to take the brunt of the responsibility for that collision. And the same thing if let's say there's a vehicle making a left turn and is blocking the lane and is yielding non-coming traffic, and you decide you want to pass that car on using the right shoulder and go around them. If that line's a solid white line, you can't go around them. And if you do and something happens, it's going to be your responsibility financially, because they might be yielding to somebody else who likes to make a left turn into a driveway or something. So anyways, when you choose to do that, my point is that you have a massive liability that you are now taking upon your shoulders and responsibility for those actions.